Welcome to The Explainer. Look, if you've been working in tech, business, or literally just skimming the news lately, you absolutely know that AI agent is the most overused buzzword of the year. I mean, every simple chatbot or browser extension with a tiny bit of AI duct taped to the back end is suddenly calling itself an agent. But what does that actually mean for us? Well, today, we're going to completely demystify this dense, hype-filled AI landscape of 2026. We are cutting right through the noise to show you the ground-level reality.
Okay, let's dive right in. Here's our roadmap to make sense of all this. We're covering the AI agent revolution, what actually makes an agent, the top commercial options, open source frameworks, technical challenges, and finally, ethics in ambient intelligence.
Section 1. The AI Agent Revolution. To really grasp where we are in 2026, we have to look back at how incredibly fast this tech has evolved. It's wild. Back in 2015, we were dealing with basic voice assistants. Early Siri or Alexa, where setting a kitchen timer felt high-tech. Then around 2022, large language models gave us conversational AI that could actually reason through complex text. But think about where we are right now. We've leapt from simple commands to multimodal, autonomous workflow agents. We're talking about systems taking independent action, offering predictive support, and weaving seamlessly through your digital life. It's a massive shift from a tool that just answers a question to a system that, well, actually does the work for you.
And to put that into perspective, this evolution is driving absolutely explosive market growth. By 2027, the global intelligent virtual assistant market is projected to hit a staggering $19.90 billion. That is a 24.4% compound annual growth rate. This isn't just some passing tech fad. We're witnessing a massive, enterprise-wide adoption curve. Businesses aren't just playing around with prototypes anymore. They are fundamentally relying on these systems to run their daily operations.
Section 2. What makes an agent? Because the word agent is being stretched so thin it's almost meaningless, we really need to clearly define true agentic AI versus your standard run-of-the-mill chatbot. The easiest way to think about it? Standard generative AI is like an intern. If you ask an intern to do something, they might draft a nice email or document, but they're going to sit there waiting for your step-by-step instructions and final approval before doing anything else. You, my friend, are still the bottleneck. Agentic AI, on the other hand, is like a seasoned project manager. A true AI agent reasons through multi-step problems, connects directly to your tools, takes autonomous action, and delivers finished work. Not drafts, not polite suggestions, finished work. That is the gold standard we're talking about today.
Section 3. Top commercial AI agents.
So, if you're looking to buy an off-the-shelf AI agent right now to be your digital project manager, here's a quick map of the major players and their best use cases. First up, Carly. Carly is fantastic for all-in-one business operations. It actually works entirely through email, so no new clunky apps to learn. And it connects to over 260 integrations to handle scheduling, CRM updates, you name it, all autonomously. Then there's Manus, which is built for autonomous deep work. You hand it a massive project, like a competitive analysis, and it just handles the whole pipeline independently. For the developers tuning in, Devin is an absolute powerhouse for software engineering. It reads your code base, writes code, runs tests, and deploys. And finally, if your company lives and breathes Microsoft, Microsoft Copilot embeds deeply into Word, Excel, and Teams, bringing all that automation natively into the tools you're already using.
Section 4. Open source agent frameworks. But what if buying off-the-shelf just isn't enough for your specific needs? For developers and teams needing custom solutions, it all boils down to this critical question. Should you build or should you buy? Building gives you total control, bespoke user experiences, and you can run it on your own infrastructure for maximum privacy. But let's be real here. There are hidden trade-offs to open source development that you really have to be honest with yourself about. You have to consider the true cost of free code. Sure, the open source framework license is free, but the total cost, not even close. Building an internal agent usually eats up about 2 full engineer weeks. At a loaded cost, you're looking at around $6,000 before the agent even answers its first real question for you. Plus, you have to maintain the hosting, the APIs, the observability, the whole shebang. Now contrast that with buying a no-code platform where you might just pay a flat $49 a month. You really have to stop and ask yourself if that $6,000 upfront hit is genuinely buying you a custom capability you couldn't just rent off the shelf. If you do decide to build, these are the heavy-hitting frameworks you'll be choosing from right now. LangGraph is incredible for stateful, production-grade agents. Stateful just means it actually remembers past interactions. It's what giants like Uber and LinkedIn use because it holds on to that memory context and allows humans to step in and pause things easily. If you need to prototype super quickly, Crew AI is awesome. It lets you define agents' roles, like say a researcher and a writer, and it handles all the handoffs between them automatically. And then AG2 is a huge community favorite for research-style agents that actually converse with each other to solve complex problems. Just keep in mind, while these frameworks give you the core logic for free, you are still on the hook for the infrastructure and all the ongoing maintenance.
Section 5. Technical Challenges and Implementation. Zooming out from the specific tools for a second, whether you decide to build or buy, successfully integrating this tech into a human workforce is a massive organizational challenge. Modern AI workflow systems require some pretty complex architecture. You've got your user interface layer, your core natural language processing engines to actually understand what's being said, and crucial data storage. But here is the kicker. Robust systems absolutely require security by design. When you hand an autonomous agent the keys to your enterprise APIs, your CRM, and your emails, rigorous authentication and continuous monitoring are definitely not optional. The system has to be modular enough to evolve, but locked down tight enough to protect your business.
But you know, having secure, robust tech doesn't mean much if your team refuses to use it. Data shows that when organizations just push out a unified tech platform, they see about a 78% user adoption rate. But when they prioritize user-centric design, really focusing on intuitive interactions and seamless human-AI collaboration, that adoption rate jumps to 86%. Human interaction patterns matter immensely here. If the AI doesn't naturally fit into the way your people already work, the whole implementation is going to fail, no matter how genius the underlying model is.
To actually nail that user-centric design, organizations have to clear 3 major technical hurdles. First up, context switching. When users constantly jump between apps, they lose context, costing about 23 minutes of recovery time per interruption. Yikes. The solution is a unified context management framework so the AI tracks the project state across every tool seamlessly. Second, natural language limitations. Ambiguous instructions cause AI error rates to absolutely spike. The fix? Building in progressive clarification mechanisms. Basically, you program the AI to stop and ask clarifying questions instead of just guessing what you meant. And third, automation balance. Automate too much and humans totally disengage and lose their edge. The architectural solution here is dynamic task allocation, making sure humans stay engaged in the critical decisions while the AI handles the repetitive grunt work.
Section 6. Ethics and Ambient Intelligence.
As these systems get smarter at managing our tasks, they're actually moving away from being tools we actively command. We're shifting from basic automation, where a system just reacts to a button press, into predictive optimization. This is what's known as ambient intelligence. We're talking about systems using advanced multimodal sensors to observe environments, pick up on behavioral patterns, and actually anticipate your needs before you even ask. It is a massive transition from a tool you actively use to an invisible, ambient partner that passively optimizes your workflow in the background.
But that kind of passive optimization requires a monumental amount of trust. Think about this for a second. Unchecked algorithmic bias can lead to discriminatory outcomes in huge areas like hiring, lending, and criminal justice. When an agent is autonomously qualifying your business leads, screening resumes, or talking to clients, any hidden flaw in its training data suddenly becomes your legal liability. You are handing over real decision-making power. If the model is skewed, it could accidentally wreck your pipelines, alienate your customers, or cross legal lines, all completely automatically. We absolutely have to implement comprehensive guardrails and maintain total transparency into how these agents make decisions to protect our businesses and the people they impact. Which leaves us with this final, somewhat provocative thought to take away. As we rush headfirst to implement AI agents across all our workflows, are we just trying to build convenient tools for rapid automation, or are we trying to build intelligent partners that we can actually trust with the future of our businesses and our daily lives? The technology to do the latter is already here in 2026, but ensuring that these autonomous systems amplify human capability rather than replacing human judgment, well, that responsibility is entirely on us. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and we'll see you in the next one.